I think all rules should just go out. My son tried to use that on me the other day.
Did it work?
Oh, no. But it would work in government. That's what it's.
All right, folks, let's hop right into our final meeting of the day. I'd like to call to order the March meeting of the ErieNet Local Development Corporation, meeting of the Board of Directors. Time now is 2:01 p.m. Before we get started, I'd like to take a quick roll. Mark Cornell.
Present.
Elizabeth Reese.
Here.
Mark Fire.
Here.
Slater Mills. Here. Dan Castle.
Here.
Mike Breeden. Here. Kirby Toth.
Here.
Jason Keating.
Here.
Legislator Gilmore.
Here.
And our newest member, Jan Mathis.
Here.
Let the record reflect that Vince Wanakin is absent today. Still have quorum nonetheless. We are joined today by Andrew Zelinsky from Speech Murphy. We're also joined by our friends from ECC, Matt Kreider and Mark Meyerhofer. Did I miss anybody in our friends from Erie County Library? Now did I miss him? All the friends, okay. We do have quorum, and so our next order of business is to review our minutes from February. If you had an opportunity to do that, I'll take a motion to.
Well, I did have one minor correction.
Thank you, Mark.
That,
Thank you.
Thomas Baines' title needs to be changed.
Thank you, Mark.
In my last meeting,
Oh,
he go instead of I.
Okay,
Got it.
got it.
Got it.
Those corrections, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from.
Approved.
Approved by legislator Gilmore, seconded by Mark Fennell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Carries. For my report, this month, I'd just like to acknowledge, one, that, the pulling together of all of the documents for our annual meeting is extraordinary undertaking, so I'd like to just acknowledge Melissa and Courtney on the work they continue to do. It's done well. This report and its quality is a reflection of that. But behind this actual physical report, there's a lot of submissions and meetings and conversations and drafting. So we don't want to take this lightly. So we appreciate the hard work. We also appreciate, just the coordination of today's multiple meetings, the lunch, of course, and the cookies and all the things that we've experienced today, but most of all, the solid work that you guys continue. And then lastly, for the annual presentation, thank you for the information. So with that, I'd like to go right into the executive director's report. Melissa, that's on you.
We don't have a large report today, just because mainly that was what I did in the presentation as well as Matt. So thank you very much for doing that. There are a few things I think, Matt, you wanted to go over. There's a couple of things I just want to mention. So I don't want to forget this, so I'm going to say it first. So the April meeting is going to be on the 21st. So that's going back to our regularly scheduled third Tuesday of the month. But this whole conference center is not available. And so they asked us if we could move it. So we have moved it to the RAF building on the 14th floor. So for some of you, you might be excited about that. You hope, but it'll probably be a beautiful day, unlike the days you usually get walking over here. But anyway, just we'll send that out. We'll make it bold just so you guys know. But we are going to have it on the 14th floor on April 21st. So it'll be our next meeting, which is in 3 weeks versus the normal 4. So you're all excited about that. A couple other just quick things. As I mentioned, we received the GDA negotiation red lines back to this morning, finally. And it looks good to go. So that is going to be signed and we'll be able to submit for our first milestone reimbursement by April 1st, which was our target date. It was March 1st. Well, first it was December, then it was March, then it was March 15th. But April 1st, our last day is going to happen. So we're going to start submitting for reimbursement. But I just want to let the board know that that typically takes 90 days. So it's fine. We're in fine financial situation, which you have the financial report You'll have both financials in there from January and February. We didn't submit financials last year, or last month, because we were in the middle of our, wrapping up 2025 final audit, paying bills from 2025 still. I'm sure Mark will do an update on the audit, so I'm going to do that. And, sorry, anything else? Jeremy, you're gonna talk about the survey, right, in your report?
I mean, it's part of our reporting out.
Yeah. The only thing, I wasn't gonna do it this month, but if you're gonna talk about it, there are some answers in here that were more concerning than we've had in the past. Mainly, that board members have sufficient time to review their board packet. And, I kind of wanted just to address that because we agree that you don't necessarily always have sufficient time. Unfortunately, we don't always get what we need in time to be able to get that to the board in a timely manner, and we're working through that, with our partners. And so, we're gonna, and we have been trying to address that to get things to more quickly. The other caveat to that, I guess, is that sometimes things come up last minute that we can't wait 30 days to go through. So hopefully you have enough time that you feel that you can call us, ask us questions, you can always address it, and if there's ever an issue, you don't have to take action on it. But I kind of want to hear if there's anything else that's concerning, just because in the survey results, while it's the majority who don't feel that way, there were more than just one answer of people who may and somewhat feel that we're not getting it out. So I just wanted to address that we recognize it. And if there's more that you want to talk about individually or in a group, we can do that too. But my phone is always on and we can talk about it that way as well. But like I said, you typically get them on Friday afternoons. If that's not a timely enough time, if that's not enough time and we need to move it up, I need to hear that. Because that is our goal. But I know that sometimes things don't fully come through until Monday and sometimes even the morning of. That's very rare, but it is not rare to have some things coming through on Monday. And if that's an issue, we can always table it but if you need earlier than Friday, I need to hear that because our goal is to get it to you Friday afternoon. Okay. All right. Is there anything else? I think that's it. With the county IRU, we're working through some things. And then our big news obviously was the city of Buffalo is signing with me, which is really big news for us. Also, we'll have another board meeting before the county, the state of the county address. It'll be the same week, actually. We are working on potentially having a large ISP announcement, or I shouldn't say large. I don't want to make it seem like it's a large ISP. We will have an ISP announcement that would be large. That could be grand, that we're hoping to get together for the county executives to announce at the state of the county. We have several ISPs that are interested and we are in negotiations with. Of course, I can't mention them in a public meeting, but I always talk to you individually. And definitely one that I think is going to commit for that announcement and potentially a couple more. So I should be able to definitively tell you that on our next meeting, but I want to make sure the group understands. We are in the ECC is doing a really good job in reaching out to specific ISPs, some that are, ones that would go out to residential, some that just want to utilize our fiber in general. We have a potential ISP that's interested in using our entire network, which I think we've talked about before. As the system is starting to come on and get closer to completion date, it's exactly what we thought would happen. ISPs are contacting us and wanting to utilize it. So all of that is very good news, but as you've seen with several of our other negotiations, sometimes they just take a really long time to get through. So we're just really hoping to get past the end where maybe we don't sign the deal, but they're willing to make that more public. It'd be the best publicity they could get, honestly, if they did it during that announcement. So we're working through that. All right, I talked longer than I thought I would because you already had to listen to me for a while. So, Matt, did you have anything you wanted to add on your part?
Yeah, I won't go through the whole thing all over again. Permits are doing better. We're we're almost through all of our DOT permits and our long lead permits. So they're clearing. I put an MIP chart on here. That'll, it's still early days with the MIP submissions, but so far everything's progressing the way we'd like to see it. Make ready, like I said, now that the weather's improving, we're able to issue more work orders to the make ready construction utility contractors. So that's freeing up more packages for our fiber installer. We already talked about the map and we talked about the schedule. But each month now we'll have this update and see how we're making progress and keeping to this date is where we need to modify. Other than that, we have a resolution today. Last month, you approved $125,000 for additional fiber that we need to primarily complete the MIP project. We went through our inventory and my engineers came back and they identified that we need more backbone within the city. As we bring all these towns from the south, east and north, and then come into downtown, the fiber cables grow. You go from a 48 strand cable to a 96 to 144 to 288. So it's like a tree trunk. And we need more 144. And then the company we awarded to last month, their inventory that was in stock was depleted by the time we got the purchase order to them. They pushed it up 12 weeks, then it was 16 to 18, and as of last week, they're 22 weeks out to get fiber delivered. That's not going to work for us. So we scrambled around. Long and short, they found us the same KGP company that we awarded to. They found us the cable we need, but it's what we call an armored cable. So it's a heavier Kevlar type jacket. It's really better for rodent proof and because we do get squirrels and rodents that shoot on fiber, believe it or not. But it's a more expensive fiber. So needing some more fiber, and the fiber that we need is more expensive. We're asking for that change order to go from 125 to 180. Or actually, I think Andrew, the resolution is for the incremental amount. So it's at $55,000. Yeah, we've ordered the backbone cable that we need. That's the long lead. So that stuff was the new type of cable was in stock. That PO went out last Friday. That fiber will be delivered in the next week or two. The remaining fiber is what we use for the MIP portion of the build. And it's the 48 strand lateral fiber that we use to connect buildings. So sorry to go back to the well, but schedules everything right now. And so, but again, one of the reasons why the board package went right for Friday afternoon, because we were scrambling for a supplier right till then.
Yeah, I mean, we can't sustain 20-week delay. Which is why I shouldn't even mention this, that it is a statewide, probably a countrywide issue with suppliers for fiber. We're lucky we found a solution.
The other resolution today is NetSync is our managed network service provider. They're under contract to light up the network for the 911 PSAPs, as well as create the wide area network for the county's IT network to deliver internet access to all the different buildings. When we did the RFP back in November of 24, it was, we knew at that time that we definitely needed 30 of the PSAPs. 19 PSAPs, 11 towers. So that's what we wrote the RFP around, that quantity. Those numbers came back and we made a $1.4 million award. Those 30 sites have now grown to 72. So these are all county facilities that at the time we weren't sure whether Mr. Breeden wanted to buy his own equipment and light it or have ErieNet do it, and we bounced quotes back and forth, and he decided that it was in county's interest to do it this way. So we more than 2.5 times the number of sites that we have to light up. So we're asking for another $1,150,000. So we were at 1.4. We've more than doubled it, but the incrementals at $1,150,000. And as far as ErieNet's budget goes, this money's reimbursed to it through Erie County. So that's the other resolution for today. And there's a third one. We already talked about the Connect All grant. The GDA got sent to us, and there's nothing surprising in there, so we're gonna move forward and execute that agreement. As a technicality, when we make proposals, we have to, what is it, Andrew, register it with the authority.
Yeah, there's certain findings that have to be made, to cover this law.
And so we're notifying the board of, and this is a proposal to CBN America. They're part of this whole MIP program for affordable housing. And they gave us their list of buildings. We told them, we originally proposed those buildings back in June of last year, I think it was. And we told them, the clock's ticking, we gotta get you into the program. Well, mid-February, they came back and they're looking for 11 properties. And we told them, we'll do best effort, but there's no guarantee for 12/31. So the risk is on CBN. If, the fiber isn't ready until February, then whatever clawback Connect All does, that's their risk, not ErieNet's. And they accepted that, or at least they said, send us the proposal. So we have. And so now we're notifying the board of that. And that's the highlights. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, several. So, do we anticipate having to purchase any more fiber?
No, and
Yeah.
one of the reasons we asked for more backbone is we didn't want to come up one real shy in September, right? And, miss our end of year. But two, we know that NFTA and Tonawanda are on our 27 horizon. And we want to have, and we have maintenance that we have to deal with as we move forward in time. So we want an inventory, so we're not depleted at zero. We want to have some inventory. So some of this is to make sure we're not on empty come December.
So then, that was my next question. As of now, you anticipate having surplus fiber?
Yeah.
And does Bill Gary know that he's storing those spools indefinitely?
I haven't pleaded for that yet.
All right,
He hasn't complained.
okay.
The new reels that are coming in are going to our construction partners warehouse
Oh, all right.
in Lackawanna. But you make a good point, when they wrap up, where do we put our inventory?
Yeah,
We just move it right over there.
just, don't tell him.
Don't tell
Maybe
him.
more.
Yeah.
He's
Bill's
not
not
here.
here anymore.
No, you
That's a
said
good question, though.
the $1 million, next question, the $1 million for the equipment is gonna be reimbursed by Erie County?
We sure hope so.
Okay.
Yeah,
As
that's,
soon as that agreement signed, we can
Right.
bill you.
Right, so that
so
agreement,
it's a cash flow because
Yeah.
we're paying for some equipment and services now.
Right.
Because again, we want to protect that schedule.
but I mean, as long as ErieNet understands that agreement, subject to the legislative approval.
That's right.
And so,
Yeah.
okay. And then the other thing I asked, just a, you know, I try to compare last month to this month, but you guys always change the way in which, can you standardize?
Yeah,
Like going forward, can you just use this format?
yes.
Because
And
every month.
the reason why we're doing that is we've been automating that dashboard.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I showed for that. So this is the,
So next month, if
We'll-
you
we'll
have the
stick
same
with it.
format
Yeah.
for all of this information,
the
then.
numbers are gonna change though.
Yeah, no, that's good. I want the numbers to change, but the formatting, formatting's help my old brain. Thank you.
I like this formatting better. It answers more questions.
Answers more questions.
And Jeremy, to answer part of your question is that the funding accounting has been budgeted, the capital budget been approved by the capital committee and such, so.
So it's there.
It's just
there.
that you have to be signed.
Just that you have to be signed by the ledge.
Well, approved by the ledge and then signed by them. Yep, yep, yep.
And then expedited
The
check.
funding's there,
The funding's there, but, right, it's still the discussion.
correct.
And then an expedited check process. Lock that out.
That's a different part.
Well, it's not my department either.
Yeah, no, this other
Control.
Budget out.
Okay, that's it. Anyone else have any questions for Matt? Or for me on my?
All right, all set. Number 4 is our committee reports, but just before we get to that, just along the lines of what Melissa was mentioning about the board evaluations. I saw one of the comments, or one of the questions, the board exercised appropriate oversight of the executive director and other executive staff, including setting performance expectations or reviewing performance annually. Just for the record, what the board doesn't see is that not only does Melissa correspond with me on an ongoing basis, she has updates with the county executive for oversight. In addition to the personnel team, myself, Mark Cornell, Dan Castle, and Elizabeth Freeze, we do have an annual performance evaluation for Melissa.
I do Courtney and then review it with your team.
So that does happen. You might not see it, but it gets wrapped up in the conversation subsequent regarding performance evaluation, but then ultimately raises, COLA raises, et cetera. So just want to put a pin in that so folks know that these things do happen ongoing behind the scenes. But moving on to number 4, our committee reports for this month. We'll start off with governance committee with committee chair, Mr. Toth.
Yeah, so you met last month, Mike Bree didn't chair that committee because I was in Florida. And it was lovely in Florida. Essentially, I have to belabor it, there's 5 policies that we're tweaking, and they really are tweaks. We had a good conversation with Andrew about the need for the tweaks, and I think everybody on the governance committee was satisfied. They contributed some to the discussion, and Andrew incorporated those minor modifications. And so we're recommending approval of the 5 amended policies. Governance. I assume you're in as well.
Mhm.
So, are there any questions? But there really aren't really anything for notice in the board. So should we, is it a motion to approve the governance committee?
No,
Well-
that's the first resolution.
Right, yeah, so we're there, you'll note on your agenda, so the first resolution is just, we call it our omnibus.
Oh, I
annual.
see.
So it'll comprise, appointments to the committees, also the readoption of policies.
Got it.
So that's all dovetailed.
So then the only other thing on the committee agenda, and we've already talked about it, is the evaluation. We've got 9 responses. How many people are on the board?
11.
11.
11.
11.
I don't know who didn't.
So so I'm pretty sure I did, because Courtney bothered me. So I did. And I think we've already discussed it. We can discuss it more if anybody wants, but, you know, as he already addressed some of it. Thomas just addressed some of it, so.
We do appreciate you filling that out. Those have to be submitted in the annual report to the ABL by the 31st. So we do have to submit all of that, so it's important that you do it. And you can still, two people who didn't can still fill it out if they want. But we still haven't submitted the official, just won't be in this. So can they still? Yeah, it should.
Yeah, because it gets emailed, that one, yeah.
I can't remember if you did it. Just-
You're all set?
All set?
All set. Next committee up is the Admin and Finance or Audit and Finance Committee, chaired by Mr. Burnell.
Certainly. So we met earlier today with Treasurer Malaki to go over the 2025 year-end financials. As is usually expected, we got an unmodified opinion, so good news. I mean, we don't have the most sophisticated financials, so it's a pretty darn close to a foregone conclusion that we're really not gonna have any major problems. They did make us aware of a new GASB pronouncement, where we have to make a specific declaration because of the concentration of all of our revenues. Essentially, all of our revenue right now is still the ARPA revenue, so it's almost like a singular source. There were a couple other small things we still have or are working towards. Some other sort of accounting policies which make things or it's a little more difficult because of how small the actual like operational side of this organization really is. Specifically like the segregation of duty that needs to happen. It's very difficult to do with two people specifically, but we find other ways of doing that periodically. So we took a motion to recommend the approval of the 25 year-end financials to the entire board. That's also something that is included in that omnibus resolution. I believe it's what this first one, 2607. So that is gonna accept the audited financials and also give the treasurer or his designee, which would be Courtney in that case, the authority to submit all of that stuff to the authority's budget office by Tuesday next week. The only other bit of business is that we have a couple policies that we're going to be looking through, specifically a new accounts receivable policy, which is, you know, kind of one of those benchmark moments, I think, for the organization, right? Where
We're gonna take someone's
we
money.
weren't receiving any money from anybody. So we did not really need an accounts receivable policy. We were mostly an accounts payable policy. So we're moving forward. So that's something that's pretty exciting, I think.
It is, yeah. We'll be happy to take anyone's money. The first check will come from the county. Maybe the city of Buffalo, I
Yeah.
think they might owe us money.
Yeah.
City of Buffalo might have to write a check.
They're about to bond, what, 500?
Well, we can't bill them until we get this accounts payable policy out.
Got it so easy.
Oh.
All right, is that it?
Yeah, that's everything we discussed.
All right, moving right along, number 5, there's no unfinished business and there's no new business, so we can conference into our resolutions for this afternoon. So, resolution 2026-07, resolution of the corporation, one, adopting certain policies, standards, and procedures, including certain amended and restated policies, standards, and procedures relating to the organization in connection with the Public Authorities Accountability Act of 2005, as amended by Chapter 506 of the laws of 2009 of the state of New York. 2, appointing directors and officers of the corporation, and 3, appointing members of the Finance and Audit Committee and Governance Committee. May I have a motion? Mark McGuire, have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. Resolution 2026-08, resolution of the corporation authorizing the issuance of a customer proposal to CBN America LLC, and two, making certain findings as required by the New York State Public Authorities Law relating to the disposition of certain property owned by corporation. I have a motion.
Approved.
That,
Motion by
seconded by Legislator Mills. Any discussion specifically? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, any abstentions? Motion carried. Resolution of 2026-09, a resolution of the corporation authorizing the negotiation and execution of an agreement with CPGCO to purchase fiber optic cable. I'll take a motion. Motion approved.
Just want to correct it, it's APG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You said C, but that's okay.
So that was properly motioned by Legislator Mill and seconded by Elizabeth Lee. There'll be more discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. Last but not least, resolution 2026-10, resolution of the corporation authorizing the negotiation and execution of a purchase order pursuant to that certain agreement by and between the corporation and NetSync, encompassing certain additional managed network services to be approved by NetSync to the corporation in an amount not to exceed $1,148,102.27. I'll take a motion.
Second.
Gilmore. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. Our next board meeting is April 21st. With that, is a motion to adjourn. Motion. Motion by Gary Phillips, seconded by Dan Council, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?